evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Exchange. My name is Scott Morgan, North Motor City Mad Mouth. We have a great episode lined up tonight, and here's the crew. We have Marvin, we have Candy, we have Tony, who always finds a way to make me laugh, even though he knows how to stick it to me at certain times in a Mattingly fashion. And of course, Shanahan, and Tony knows where I'm going with that comment. Don't worry. I'll let him hammer me a little bit more on Saturday when I bring it up. Everybody ready to get to work?
Let's go. Let's go.
Everybody ready to get to work? All right.
We are.
Now we're going to have a few non-sports topics to kick it off. And we're going to start off with Southwest Airlines. And that's it. They're going to require plus-size passengers to purchase 2 seats in 2026. Plus-size passengers means you got to buy two tickets if you have eaten too many Big Macs or Whoppers and all that, and then some. So, Marvin, take it away from there.
I get it. I do. I've been both people. I've been the guy who was 385 and, struggled to put the seatbelt on and, wondering how I'm impacting the person next to me and the armrest and do we use it or not. And now, I've lost a ton of weight. I'm like a 210 and I've been in situations where I'm sitting next to somebody who, was me. So I get it. If anything, this must tell you that they're getting tons of complaints from travelers. That it's the result of that. They're not doing this for fun. They're not doing it. This isn't just an opportunity to make some more money, even though it's that too. This absolutely is a response to people complaining and people and stewardesses on the plane having to adjust and change seats because people aren't comfortable. And it's a real thing. We know in America, obviously. We consume a lot of calories. We eat a lot of carbs.
Candy?
This is an issue with our culture. So I understand it completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, Candy, go ahead.
I get it. I when somebody is taking more than one seat or pushing you, it's hard. I think sometimes the seats that they have on the plane, how big are they? We are an overweight society, and so I get it. But as long as they're upfront about it and tell you all about it in the beginning, I'm okay with it.
Okay, Tony.
Yeah, I feel like this has been talked about for a while now. I don't know if other airlines, but I feel like I've heard about this before. But I get it, like Mark said, they're not doing this for no other reason. Probably a lot of customers money. Hey, they got to, they can, so they're going to do that. But echo it, can't be funny saying echo. We keep getting bigger. I go back and look at certain stuff on TV, and I realize that what we thought was big in 2000 is not that big in 2025, and planes aren't growing. They got to figure out the seating arrangement with that. So it makes sense. I get that money. You got to make sure everybody's
Tommy.
Yeah, I've never really. I only had that experience once. It was actually with a friend of mine. He was in the middle seat, and this great big guy was leaning over into his space. So, but I've never really experienced. For me, the big problem was always 6'3", and always having to squeeze my legs in there. On Southwest Airlines, I would often pay the upgrade so that I could be at the front of the A line, and then I would rush back to that hub seat or whatever they call it, where by the exit door with the extra space. But part of it also is for many years the airlines have been shrinking the space available, so they're part of the problem too.
Well, I remember the good old days in Southwest Airlines used to give you peanuts and a pop. That was good. No, it was another. It was more money seats because you're overweight. Goodness. All right. This topic has Tommy's name written all over it. Ferris State alum. Ferris State alum Sean Smith, class of 1994, was the lead official for Super Bowl 60. Tommy, we have a Ferris State person who has actually the lead official in the Super Bowl. Are you proud of this guy?
Yeah, very much so. Ferris is a great school, and I'm not surprised that he football player for Ferris. He decided to get into officiating. And a lot of Ferris people are achievers, and yeah, I was well aware of that. It was on Ferris put it out on Twitter quite a bit, and I saw the pictures. And that was a great moment for our school in Big Rapids, Michigan. Two-time defending NCAA Division II champions, sending players all over the country with even Power Four schools tapping their players.
So you can find these officials anywhere. Right now, we go to Big Rapids to find them. All right, Tony. What do you think? Went from Big Macs to Big Rapids.
Hey man, it was a very well called Super Bowl, so he looks like he knows what he's doing.
Tony, some thoughts.
Yeah, I was saying it was a well called Super Bowl. Not too many flags. I'll say this about referees: they're doing a good job when you don't know. So they did a great job.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to that, Tony?
No, that's it.
Well, once again, this time we're having a few internet problems. All right, Tony, let's anything else you want to add to it?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. We'll give it to Candy.
Candy, you're muted. Candy,
you're muted. Candy.
Sorry about that. It also it marked a major milestone for the university. But additionally, there's multiple former Ferris State players that have recently been on NFL roster, including Zach Seiler, Caleb Murphy, and Severe Thomas. They also a Ferris State alumnus was involved in the Super Bowl halftime performance. So it's pretty cool. All those for one school.
Marvin.
Yeah, listen, it's great to see a guy from a small school make it to the big stage. No bigger than the NFL Super Bowl, believe that. But I'll tell you like this, I'm happy Tom stated where the school is at. Scott, you got to give us some background. I never heard of Ferris in my life. When you say Ferris, I think Bueller, all right? Because I was like for me when I was a kid, and I kid you not. But it's in Michigan? Okay, great. Grand Rapids? Okay.
Big Rapids. About an hour north of Grand Rapids.
There you go.
Big Rapids.
I know, and I know that they're very different.
Oh, is it an hour north of Grand Rapids?
Yeah, but no. The kid made it to the big time. He's famous now. He's being talked about on the South Florida Tribune. You didn't made it. Mama made it. You know.
We also have from Ferris some infamous characters. One of Donald Trump's many mistresses was a Ferris student, and she was in the news quite a bit when this Stormy story was unfolding.
Okay.
So there you have it. Ferris State had themselves an official who's a lead official for the Super Bowl. All right, let's talk about a portal commit. Interesting road. So Western Kentucky University transfer running back Marvis Parrish has committed to Michigan State. So as a true freshman this past year, he ran for 576 yards, 5.4 yards per carry on the way to being named 2025 Conference USA All-Freshman. And he has 3 years left to play. Tommy, your thoughts about this move for Michigan State?
Yeah, well, I haven't really watched a lot of film on him, but from what I've read, the Michigan State is very excited to have him. But at the same time, I don't like how all these Group of Five schools are losing players to Power Four schools. Sean May. Do I have that right? He's an assistant coach at North Carolina. His dad played at Indiana, and he spoke at the Raleigh Sports Club, where I'm a member, back in the fall, and he said that when these Power Four schools take a player, a Group of Five school, you should have to pay them. And which is a pretty surprising comment coming from a North Carolina guy, because obviously they're at the top of the heap in basketball. I don't see how rule would ever take place. It would get voted down, but I think it's a fair and equitable thing to do, because these Group of Five schools are always struggling for money. They develop a kid, and then they lose him.
The transition to about what we're going to do, and that's this. All right. Well, we're going to go to this topic first. Candy, get ready to load up John Jakus.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tony.
Can I ask? I just want to piggyback off what you said. I definitely agree with that. I actually spoke about that recently. You got to start looking out for the smaller schools when you get these players, especially even when you go further down to D2, HBCUs. You can give these schools a drop, like a penny, basically a drop in the bucket on y'all guys' budget, and it will help those schools out so much. They fostered talent. They nurtured that talent for the bigger schools. I feel like they should definitely figure out like a transfer system like soccer.
Marvin, what are your thoughts about this transfer?
I didn't hear the first part of the question, to be honest with you. I know Michigan State had an outstanding running back. He has 3 years left.
Sure, I'll go over it again, Marvin. No big deal. Portal commit. Yeah, portal commit. Western Kentucky University transfer running back Marvis Parrish has committed to Michigan State as a true freshman this past year. He ran for 576 yards, 5.4 yards per carry, on his way to being the 2025 Conference USA All-Freshman. He has 3 years left to play.
It's a great pickup for Michigan State. Kid was active. He had some production. This is hopefully he does a good job.
Yeah, the point I was making, Marvin, is that
seems like a
the
pretty
Power
good
Four
quality
schools
pickup.
should have to pay the Group of Five schools some kind of fee for taking their players.
Right, and I'll tell you what, that makes sense when you look at all the money that the Power Four schools are making in these TV contracts. It's unbelievable. I just saw. I think Georgia made like $250 million this year. I think Alabama took home, like 300, something crazy like that. They got the money to give to these other schools, and these other schools are going to be hurting from that. And we got to figure out how to keep high school kids in the loop so they can keep getting scholarships, because they're impacted by this as well. So
yeah. That's the other thing is these coaches, Power Four, aren't looking at high school kids like they used to. They look around the country for a guy that can transfer in and play right away.
Right.
Candy, some thoughts on this?
Yeah, he recorded 576 rushing yards, a 5.4 yards per carry average. Kudos to Michigan State.
Okay. All right. Nick Siriani often refers to Frank Reich as his mentor. Obviously, we all know that Frank did a really good job at Stanford in 2025. Marvin, your thoughts about Nick Siriani?
Nick Sirianni is a Super Bowl winning coach. He has arguably one of the best rosters in the NFL. I think he's done a good job managing drama within the Eagles organization. I think he's dealt with a few personalities. I think he handles it well. And Frank Reich was the man. Frank, I remember Frank when he was in Maryland. Huge comeback win, and then again with the Buffalo Bills. Frank is well respected in the NFL as a player and coach, and I have no doubt that he's had impact with Sirianni, who's in the midst of a great career himself as a head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Tony.
I'm glad Frank Reich can help Nick Sirianni, because Frank Reich did not help my Carolina Panthers this short tenure there. But Frank Reich is a quarterback whisperer, a good coach, so I can see him being able to communicate to other coaches and being a mentor in that capacity. He's been around football forever. Marvin mentioned him in Buffalo, him even at Maryland. So good coaches normally have what they call the coaching tree around them. I'm sure if we go further down the line, we'll have more coaches coming out saying how Frank Reich helped them out throughout their career, or they're part of that whole coaching tree.
Tommy?
Yeah, Nick Sirianni does such a great job in Philadelphia. He gets ridiculed a little bit for some of the things he says, just being honest. So I don't understand some of the criticism he takes, and certainly the Philadelphia Eagles fans are not worthy of him with all that he's done there in Philadelphia.
Candy.
Yeah, I'm here. Nick Sirianni has done a really good job. He's recruited right. He's gotten the right coaches, and he's gotten success on the field. Obviously, winning a Super Bowl. Obviously, not getting there this year, but he's done a good job. So better than some of the other coaches in the league.
Yeah, I have the utmost respect for Nick Sirianni, but I have even more respect for Frank Reich. I've known him a long time, dating back to our days at the Detroit Lions. That was great catching up with him over at Hard Rock Stadium earlier this year. All right, Candy, do you have that Jakus thing ready to go? Okay, well, over the weekend, Florida Atlantic took on the University of South Florida over at the FAU Arena. And as I was going through a lot of the notes, I couldn't believe that a lot of players on the Owls roster were international players. So with that said, I asked Coach John Jakus about using international players to keep y'all competitive. Candy, go to the tape. All right. She's getting it. I want to talk about your shrewd way of recruiting international players, because I know you went out there and coached internationally. It's the transfer portal and NIL could be a little difficult at times, especially with the market. Is that you feel the best way to keep this program very, very competitive? Because there is a lot of great international talent out there, and obviously you've noted, and we've seen it in the Olympic play as well as the NBA draft.
Yeah, obviously my relationships overseas say what I want, you've got to get friends to help you. Sometimes that helps is to give you a player at a price you can afford, and then market that's above what we have. The second thing I would say is it's pretty clear we're taking former top 100 kids. We play freshmen, which most people don't do, and then the international thing's a big piece. But I would say we have a 3 to 4 prong approach to live within our budget and find what we need. Internationally, we're going to continue to do that. But I think specifically with tall kids. I mean, if you're 6'10" and you can play, you're in the States, you're going to be ranked in your top 50. If I tell you what the top 50 kid costs right now, it's out of our budget. So for us to get right, we're going to have to go overseas. I just think that's the context. I'm proud of my staff for the way they handle it. We'll continue to do that. We're not getting any players spring.
Yeah. So there you have it. Obviously, Florida Atlantic doesn't have the NIL resources. Or the ability to go into transfer portal like a lot of the other schools. Marvin, what are your thoughts about his strategy of trying to keep them competitive?
Listen, NIL transfer portal is changing the entire landscape of college sports. Period. And you're having to figure out, what's the process now? How do we stay competitive? How do we, where are the loopholes or the opportunities to get these players? Because now what it comes down to is if you don't have the cash, you don't get the player. It's no different from, well, in some ways different from pro sports, but it is what it is. It's the business now, and we're just being honest about that. And there are pros and cons to that, and we're seeing, Tom had alluded to issues with the smaller schools earlier on, and you're seeing that here. They got to go overseas just to fill up the roster. So it's it's just different times. It's different times. I think people who are purists are going to struggle with it and say how horrible it is, and it's this and that. Times is changing, people, and they always do. Nothing ever stays the same. And, as long as money's involved, then, it's going to be even more problematic. So this is what it is. I hate to hear that. I do. It's definitely a burden on the university, and, it impacts their team, because they have good talent overseas, but I think you want that homegrown. So it's a tough deal, man, but it's a new day.
Yeah. I mean, the reality of the situation is this. You've got a situation where money, like Marvin's been saying, takes precedence, and they have to do the best they can with what they have. Yeah, Earl, see the echoing thing. We're not sure how to handle it by now, but we appreciate you handling it there. I don't know what we're going to do about it, but we're trying to make the best of it. But thanks, Earl. We appreciate you. All right, Candy, some thoughts. You were there with me.
Yeah, it's sad. You're giving international players more of a chance, which is good for them. But like he said, he can't top 50 centers in the United States. They can't afford. They don't have the NIL money that some of the other schools. So to compete, what do? They go for international players. Unfortunately, it is what it is. It's the way that college NIL is going these days.
Tony, what's your take on this?
I applaud him, man. He's showing that where there's a will, there's a way. Okay, we don't have the budget for it. We can go overseas. I like it. And there's a lot of talent over there. And honestly, somebody who's watched a lot of AAU circuit, even some high school hoops, you probably find more polished talent overseas now than what you find over here. You may find better athletes per se. You might find better raw talent. But if you're looking to win in the college game, especially competing against schools that are getting that talent and they're one and done, probably are creating a better culture for winning and a better chance of success with those European players. I saw, and even on like a different scale or level, I saw Dawn Staley go to France. She just brought in a young lady from France. And that's probably going to be the way to kind of save a couple of dollars and offer people in Europe or other countries American education. So I like what he's doing. I like that he found something. Like we understand the landscape. Know the smaller schools don't have the money. What are you going to do about it? And I like that he's trying to find that he's found something to stay competitive.
Yeah, the thing about him is he's coached overseas as well. So if anybody appreciates the international player and how they go ahead and do it, just all you have to do is look at the NBA draft where they're drafting foreign players is what you're dealing with. So he understands how good these players are. So and he's smart. That's what you talked about. Some thoughts, Tommy. This is the thing I was telling the other day that was interesting about him.
Yeah. Well, we've always had European players coming over to the United States to play, but they were more isolated examples. When I was at Michigan State and Magic Johnson was playing there his freshman year, Spartans brought in a 7-footer from Sweden. He only ended up staying 1 year, but they did do that back then. So that's going way back. It's a trend you're going to see continue. In fact, Marvin, if you watch the USC Illinois basketball game tonight, 4 or 5 of Illinois' top players are all from overseas. And
Right.
I'm glad I'm not the play-by-play guy because I'd have trouble pronouncing those names. I'd have to just go by their numbers. But Illinois is completely committed to having an overseas roster. They pretty much flipped their entire roster last year, this year with foreign players. The other thing it's appealing to the European players is because they don't have the college athletic system that we have, or even the high school athletic system. They go into a club program that's more sophisticated than our club program, and they might even be getting paid when they're 18 years old. But for whatever reason, the NCAA doesn't consider them pro. And that's led to this problem with the guy at Alabama that had been in the G League, signed a contract. Nate Oates, Alabama, arguing, well, we're paying these European guys are pros. Why can't we pay an NBA guy or a G League guy? Let him come back. So that's opened up a whole other can of worms. And I don't know how it's ever going to be solved. But I know it appeals to the Europeans, and it's not just men, it's the women too. Because I remember in my San Diego writing days, you have foreign exchange students come to San Diego. They didn't necessarily come to play sports. Some of them were good athletes. And they always talked about how it was more fun to go to school in the United States. School spirit and all this stuff, rivalries with other schools was completely foreign to them. And they really enjoyed it. It's two different systems colliding.
Yeah, well, Tommy, the one thing you said there is I can only imagine what it's like for the play-by-play guys to have to pronounce those names. That's for sure. Yeah, that's a good point. So the Miami Hurricanes actually got fined $50,000 for storming the court after beating the North Carolina Tar Heels, violating the league's event security policy. Come on, ACC, cut them some slack. They haven't won a lot in basketball and ever. Marvin, what are your thoughts about that $50,000 fine?
Hold on, and which school was fined, Scott?
Miami.
50.
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Miami Hurricanes.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, listen, it's historic cornings are part of their culture, man. It's what they do nowadays. They kind of do it for anything. I feel like it used to be a special thing, like you beat the #1 team on the road, you win the championship. But now, if it's a Tuesday, you storm the court. You know what I mean? So, yeah, listen, Chapel Hill is a big win. The Canes beat Chapel Hill. That's a big win. They're a storied program. I think any non-traditional basketball team or basketball school would celebrate beating a school like Chapel Hill, and they are in the midst of a good season. So yeah, the 50 G's is chump change, man. What you talking about? We just talking about NIL. At UN, the backup punter's making 50 G's. You know, so they don't. That's nothing. That's petty. You know what I mean? Listen, for that, they'll storm the court again and again and again. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Yeah, well, Candy and I will be at that court probably, I think, a week from Saturday. So, Tommy, your thoughts about the Canes and 50 G's?
Well, yeah, I understand why they're saying there's nothing wrong with that. But it's embarrassing that their fans would get so excited. They're just copying what they see on TV. It's just like it's the bane of high school coaches when they have to discipline their players for irritating what you see on TV from NFL players. But it's embarrassing. Not North Carolina with Michael Jordan or Eric Montross. They're ranked in the mid-teens. It's embarrassing that they would celebrate a court storming. And it happens too much. And one team I want to give a lot of credit for on this subject matter is Nebraska. They're having maybe their best basketball season ever. And Michigan State played at Nebraska. I think Michigan State was in the top 10 at the time. And Nebraska was somewhere in the mid-teens, maybe. Nobody could believe Nebraska had become so good in basketball. Now Nebraska is actually higher than Michigan State. But anyways, Nebraska beat Michigan State. It was a tight game, came down to the final minute. The Nebraska fans stormed the court. And the Nebraska player in the press conference said, we're a good program. We shouldn't be storming the court for just a good win. It's not like they won the title. Not like they upset the number one team in the nation. And so I like that awareness from Nebraska players.
All right, Candy.
So I'm going to come at it from a completely different angle than all of you. So this past weekend, Scott and I covered the FAU versus USF basketball game. I was taking pictures. And where was I? I was sitting on the court behind the basketball hoop. So let me tell you, if they had stormed the court, now I'm not sitting on a chair. I'm sitting on the court. If they had stormed the court, they could do damage. They could hurt somebody. And so I get where they're not supposed to storm the court. When I was taking pictures for the Hurricanes on the football field, they also told us that nobody could go on the field until the visitors were off and the referees were off the field as well. The same should be for basketball, and otherwise you're going to get fined. I get it. Fans need to show some restraint from just regular wins. Yes, if they win the championship, I get it. They might be big wins, but they need to refrain because they could hurt somebody.
Yeah, let me add to that. Recently, North Carolina beat Duke on a last-second shot, and the North Carolina fans stormed the court. North Carolina, they've won 5 national titles. They're going to get excited about one win over their rival, and it's embarrassing for North Carolina. And then the other thing that happened is John Shire said one of the guys on his staff got hit in the face, had a bloody lip, got trampled. And so the crowd control is a big issue, like Kenny said. But from there, it deteriorated into North Carolina. People saying that's not true. Nobody got hurt. They can't see it on film. Shire, of course, said John Shire make up stuff. So that's how ridiculous sports storming is. It only should be happen when there's monumental victory. North Carolina beating not monumental. In fact, it embarrassed the Duke fan base. I mean, the North Carolina fan base. They made themselves look superior to Duke.
Well, think about it. Miami beating North Carolina on the basketball court is big stuff.
But it's North Carolina.
Football field.
It's not North Carolina.
What's that? Yeah, but come on, Tommy. When you're down in South Florida, Miami Hurricanes beating a team in the ACC is important. If it's on the football field, it's different. Because Miami's always been known for a football school, not a basketball school.
It's not the first time they beat North Carolina. They scored the last time.
What?
It was probably a better.
What's that? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that, Tommy.
I'm saying that Miami has beaten North Carolina before, and they've probably beaten better North Carolina teams. They didn't storm the court. It's embarrassing. They're just following what they see. They're just copying.
I'm not saying. I'm not. But the bottom line is, I'm not giving Miami's basketball program too much props. So Sam Jakus was the athletic director that they talked about bringing it back, and it was gone for a while. The guy that played there was Rick Barry many years ago. They
were in the Final Four. They were a Final Four.
Well, they were under Jim Larinaga. Yeah, they were. No, Tommy, you're right. I'm just saying, if you're in Miami, knowing the nature of this school.
Yeah, but you're making your program just like the Nebraska players. They were embarrassed. The fans should expect them to be able to beat Michigan State. They're having that kind of.
The bottom line is Miami's always been known for football, baseball, and then basketball. At least in the past, it's different. Hey, listen, I'll give you a more progress report when I get back there in a couple weeks about what that place is like. How does that sound, Tommy? Then I might talk a little bit better on this thing. All right, Tony, you've been patient. Go ahead. You've probably taken a lot in there.
Yeah, I do. First, we're going to talk about the money because that was the first thing. That stadium holds 7,792 people. The cheapest ticket was $27. So let's just say every ticket was $27. They made $215,000. They don't care about that thing. And I'm going to speak to you, Tom, because I am the Tar Heel fan that's on this panel right now. It's not embarrassing. You don't get depleted to 0.04 seconds. You might go a little crazy, especially when you beat Duke. That is the rivalry is too big. I get that you beat Duke before. Is what 60 over the last 100 games. Every win is big in this situation. And it's just part for the course. It's just a sport now. Like I get it. Sometimes it is a lot, but the kids want to be kids. They want to rush. That's just what they do. They've been doing it for years. They normally do it for bigger games, but you kind of get the feel when you get close towards it. Like I knew the Miami fans were going to rush the court. It's like you said, this ain't football. This ain't basketball. Miami beat Carolina and Miami is a deal for them. So the fans are going to have they're going to rush the crowd for that. I do feel like they should try and figure out something with getting the players to the tunnel. I don't know how fast they can move and converge on that. But hey, man, and I would probably put in a fund for extra security during games like that. Look, we're going to pay the fine. We're going to pay the extra security. We made the profit. We're going out here to win the game and let our players have fun. And hey, part of that having fun is on the court.
All right, well, let's go to our featured topic of the night. Michael Jordan won a championship again. But this time, he got the seventh ring after Tyler Reddick won his first Big 500 win in the 500. Feels like just another NBA championship in the eyes of the great one. What are your thoughts about Michael Jordan getting another ring, Marvin?
Listen, I love it. I love the fact. Listen, I'm not a NASCAR guy. I've never been into NASCAR or anything like that. I lived in North Carolina for a couple of years, and them people love that. I can't figure that out. But I was also turned off by all the Confederate flags and all that stuff. The fact that Jordan, a Black American, is in that space and he's successful, I think he can have a similar impact to the Tiger Woods, kind of. I think people look at Jordan. I think whatever he does is big news. So it's drawing more attention to NASCAR. If NASCAR is smart, and they have made moves to get rid of the Confederate flags and all that stuff, they got to look at the bigger opportunity here, man. It's about making money. And it may piss off some of their base, but Michael Jordan, it's a big deal that arguably the greatest athlete the world's ever seen, greatest basketball player of all time, a guy who couldn't, when he owned the Hornets, when he was the owner for them, he couldn't find success. Now, granted, he sold the team, made a ton of money, and that's where the success is at for him. But as an NBA owner, he couldn't get it done. As a NASCAR owner, he gets it done. I love it, and I hope that, you see more participation in NASCAR from people of color. And, it's a good move, man. It's a good move for him, and I'm happy for the dude.
Candy.
He's won as a player. It's cool to see that he's investing some of the money that he won as a player into different things like NASCAR. Sponsoring the driver, and then take to the Daytona 500 and winning it all. Kudos. They were joking about what size is ring now. So kudos to him for investing in that.
Tommy.
Yeah. Marvin makes a good point. I hope Michael Jordan's presence can make a difference. He's always been an operation. He jumped into. But we're talking about NASCAR fans, the Confederate flags. I don't think it'll ever change. It's like trying to tell MAGA voters from a lot of the NASCAR fans to get in. Remember Bubba Wallace, best black driver, and a few years ago they found a noose in his garage, and people tried to dismiss it. The first thing I thought about, and I tried to get an interview with Bubba Wallace, like NASCAR, I guess didn't want anybody wanted the issue to go away. But I wanted to relate what happened with Bubba Wallace to Jerry Levias, when he was the first black scholarship player in the Southwest Conference. As a sophomore, they played at Texas in 1996. And all the Texas fans were waving at him. It was a big joke. Everybody was laughing. So I guess we've made progress. The noose in Bubba Wallace's garage wasn't a funny story, but it wasn't necessarily something NASCAR fans wanted to admit that story. So hopefully Michael Jordan's presence can make a difference, but I'm not optimistic.
Yeah, the Sports 176 horrible echoes. I sarcastically don't know how to tell you that it happens to everybody. I wouldn't be surprised if it's happened to you, but you don't like it, the show has to go on. Okay, Tony.
I love this. As somebody who is, I wouldn't even call myself casual. I like if it comes on Sports Center, I'll know that. But it does make news. Right. Michael Jordan being a black man, it's Black History Month. First black owner going to Daytona. This is just great. And I agree with Marvin. This is how you can broaden your fan base. You know, this is how you get people like me to look at it a little bit more, to pay more attention. I probably would have never done before. The interesting thing with Michael Jordan is he was recently fighting to get the money evenly distributed through NASCAR. So like them being able to win, because they've won a little bit before this without getting the money distributed evenly to make it a playing field. When that happens, it is scary hours for the rest of NASCAR because he's been winning fighting uphill. You balance that field out. He might become dominant out there and be way better than he was as on. I tell you that.
Okay. Onward we go. Mario Cristobal says he won't negatively recruit in the state of Florida. He's a man of class and integrity. So he doesn't negatively recruit, Marvin. How do you like that in the state?
So that means he'll recruit negatively against USC. I don't understand what that means. What does that mean?
Well, what the whole thing is, he won't talk negative against anybody.
I got you.
In the state of Florida. I mean, in the state.
It's a weak move. It's a weak move. I think if you are, if you realize that you're blessed as the UM coach and you think that the greatest opportunity for that young man is to come to UM and be a Miami Hurricane, then I think you should be filled with the greatness of UM, and that's all you should be talking about. I think if your point or your strong point is in negativity about somebody else, and that's the energy you given, I just think it's a weak move. To me, it would be a turnoff anyway. So I respect that from him, and to me, it just says he feels that he's so blessed at where he's at, and it's so much to talk about. There's nothing negative to even talk about because the good far outweighs the bad about anybody else. So I get that, man. I think it's strategic. I think it's smart. Says what kind of dude he is, says what kind of man he is, what kind of leader he is, tells you, how he's talking to these kids. And, I respect that.
Okay, Candy.
In a day and age where there's so much negativity in the world, this speaks volumes about how Mario coaches and the culture that he brings to the program. I like it because I think you stand on how good you are and how good the program is and the results you've had in the past. Whether it be the school before you were coaching or now, you're a great recruiter. You don't need to discredit anybody else. Like that move.
Okay. What about you, Tommy?
Well, it's an ugly side of sports, college sports. It's the lower schools that coaches that usually revert to that, resort to that. Mario Cristobal doesn't have to negative recruit at a school like Miami. So it's a little bit of a hollow comment in my opinion. But it's a long-standing ugly side of sports. I'm sure a lot of it is being used to blame Kiffin at LSU. And it's an ugly side of sports, but I don't have any for Lane Kiffin. Kiffin does use it.
Okay, Tony.
Mario don't got to do what I do it for him. Boo, Florida State. Boo, UF. UCF, I don't like calling it out. USF, boo. No, I get it, though. And I feel you on that two times. You don't have to bash the other teams when you're the state champ that year, right? Like what? You don't have to pick them while they're down. All you have to do is talk about yourself. Hey, we won. We beat the teams. We're building something here. We're an international championship game. You can talk about what your program is doing. And it's Miami. You can just sell the city itself. You don't have to talk about nowhere else. So I like that as having a high school son that plays sports. I wouldn't want a recruiter coming in talking about other programs in a bad way. I want you to talk about what you have going on and the positivity about what's going on at your program. We're not worrying about everybody else. Mind your business.
All right,
Keep your
Tommy.
yard.
Exactly. Now that's what a lot of coaches should do. Instead of negatively recruit. The whole idea is just go out there, focus on what you have to do instead of insulting anybody. And I totally get that. So, all right, Tommy, we're gonna have one non-sports topic for you, and then a Shanahan report. But this will be an easy one for you that we addressed earlier. This one's only for Tommy and Tony. Well, for everybody. So here you go, Tommy. Japan now has 100,000 people aged over 188% of which are women. How about that? Boy, I'll tell you, if you're a woman, you're going to live a long time in Alabama. I mean, in Japan.
Yeah, say that again. I didn't catch it, Cab. I didn't catch it.
Yeah, so let me go over it again because I was all over the map there. So Japan now has 100,000 people aged over 188% of which are women that are living over 100. There you go.
Yeah, well, it's all that healthy food they don't eat over there. Sushi and rice, everything else. They don't go to McDonald's and places like that. So it's interesting.
Yeah, that's why I threw it there, Tommy. I figured we have time for that one for you. I'll hit the other guys with some really wild ones. We think since you and I are getting up there in age, it's good to have the Japanese cats in front of us. What about you, Tony?
You know, it's funny because my significant other is older than me, and I always joke. The women live longer anyway. That's why I had to get somebody older. We'll line up.
Interesting. All right, Candy, take another crack at it. Mark, and take another crack. Then we'll get the champ for it.
Listen, it's obviously to me, it just speaks to their culture. Whatever they're doing, it's working. And I think, especially coming from the conversation about the seatbelts in Southwest, I mean, we got to figure out a better way to do this, America. And with that said, I want to know what these Japanese women putting in this green tea that's killing off all the men. That's really what I want to know. But yeah, man, that speaks to their culture, man. Kudos to them. We should take a page from their book.
If you look at most Japanese women, you don't see obesity. They're healthier. So I think part of it is that. I don't know if it's in their tea, if it's in their what they're drinking, but we need to learn from them, I think, because they do eat rice and other things. So. But to live to here's what I'm going to say. If you're going to live to 100, as long as you've got your mind and your body and you're healthy, great. But if you're not of sound mind, then it doesn't matter if you're 100 years old or 80.
All right, Tommy, time for the Shanahan report. Give me what you got, Thomas.
Yeah, go to TomShanahan.report, just like you see on the screen there. My Twitter handle is Shanny4055. I'll say the same thing I said last night, that I have a story on the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who I was fortunate enough to interview for my book, Ray of Light. And Jesse Jackson talked about the importance of Black athletes being seen on TV. And in my case, he was speaking specifically about the Black athletes dating to the 50s and then the great 1960s when the Spartans had 20 Black players. There was only a dozen. Played Notre Dame in the country. Notre Dame only had one Black player, Alan Page. But also, I'll be posting this tomorrow. I did a podcast on the greater and African American sports hall of fame. Flint was once a thriving American city for the auto industry, and then when the auto and General Motors closed factories moved to Mexico and places. Flint, as the economy has suffered greatly. If you go back, remember much Reeves, Charlie Bell, and Boston, Michigan State, 2000 national basketball. They were called the Flintstones. But actually, the Flintstones and Michigan State go back to the early 50s with Don Coleman, their college football Hall of Famer, first Black All-American. And then, as I've already said about Reverend Jesse Jackson, Leroy Holden, and Ellis Tucker from Flint High Schools. And they scored touchdowns in the 1994 Rose Bowl. And open eyes, black athletes, white athletes could play together. Tom Shanahan's got to
All right, Tommy, we appreciate you being on again tonight. Excuse me, on Tuesday, Inside the Pig Tent. Tommy, thanks for joining us tonight, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, Tommy.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
And
right,
just
so
so
now there's
everybody
four of us.
knows that I did Tom's article about Jesse Jackson is on the South Florida Tribune's website.
Okay. All right, y'all.
There you go. All right, we have a few more topics. We're going to cut this show a little bit shorter. I know we're dealing with some echoes here, so we'll hold a few of them over. One of them is an NBA topic. There was a game in late December where Nikola Jokic scored 56 points in the game. Max Browner had 51 yards in the game. Anybody have any record of that one? Candy?
Can you repeat it?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's what happened. Can you believe that? Nikola Jokic, 56 points in the game. Max Browner had 51 yards. I think the one that Browner had 51 yards was against the Detroit Lions, by the way.
Interesting. I
Anybody
don't
want to add to it?
Like Marvin says, I don't watch a lot of basketball until after the football is over.
This is true, right, Candy? Right? You probably didn't even realize that, but it's true. You know, like, when you football heavy like we are, I mean, it's just, you know.
Just wrong.
Hey, well, listen, you know what? 51 passing yards is one thing. But then you also have 56 points by a guy, but it shouldn't surprise anybody. It was Nikola Jokic that pulled it off. Does that help draw anything out of anybody? Go ahead, Tony. You're my resident basketball guy.
Look, man, Jokic scoring 50 points, 60 points don't surprise me. We're talking about somebody who had a double going into the fourth quarter, and then they played the fourth quarter in overtime. And just in those 17 minutes, had a double. So he basically had a great game in the fourth quarter and overtime long. He's somebody I watch play, and I've never seen him make a bad play. He might not make every shot, but I've never seen him make a play and say it's a bad play. So no surprise there with Jokic. The 51 yard passing, what were they running the triple option?
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a great question.
I'm not going to pretend to know everything, but that was just weird. Triple, I don't know. Yeah, that's just surreal though. 56 points for one guy and 51 yards passing for another. Go figure. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Really interesting non-sports topic. This is one for the ages. How about this? Jew J-E-W Ride launches services in Toronto, which was created in response to concerns for Jewish passengers who say they've experienced harassment, discrimination, or refusals of service on mainstream ride-hating platforms. Andy, some thoughts?
Where did you come up with?
Yeah, why don't you sit up so I can see? Why don't you sit up so I can see it, Candy? I'm not ISIS. I didn't behead you.
I'm here. So read
I
that
always
again.
come up with all kinds of stuff, so don't worry about it. Yeah, all right, I'll read it. Okay. All right. Joyride launches services in Toronto, a place we were been to, Candy, which was created in response to growing concern from Jewish passengers saying they've experienced harassment, discrimination, or refusals to service on mainstream ride-hailing platforms. Where do I come up with? Answer the question if you want.
Well, I think it's horrible that anybody discriminates anybody based on race, where you're from, origin, male or female. We're human, and we should all be treated the same as humans until you've done something to provoke that or change that. But it's too bad that someone's got to come up with something like this. That's sad.
Tony.
It is bad that 2026 that things have to be created into segregation. But as somebody who has studied Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, sometimes being segregated out is a way to thrive and create your own businesses to make a whole lot of money. So hey, it might be a silver lining. You know, you don't have to worry about being bothered. You don't have to worry about being harassed, and get that bread.
Marvin, stick to you with some interesting topics. It's got to be one of them, isn't it?
Scott, I'm sorry, man. I need to.
Now we got Joyride to bring on Charlie Kirk.
No, I'm with it. I know you said it like twice already. Can you say the question again? Because I'm not hearing all of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no problem. That's okay. Yeah, I know. I've got to say it 9 million times. It's believable. I'm insane to come up with this stuff in the first place. Joyride launched services in Toronto, which was created in response to growing concerns for Jewish passengers as a result of harassment, discrimination, and refusal to services on mainstream ride platforms.
Okay, you said Joyride. That's what you said. That's what I'm thinking. He's certainly not saying Joyride. Okay, so now I get it all. Man, listen, as long as you got people in the world promoting just racist agendas and racist images, and this is what we have to deal with. Unfortunately, man, it's horrible. You would think that we've moved past certain things. You would think that we learned to really judge people on the content of their character, but the unfortunate reality is that's not the world we live in. We got a lot of good people in this world. We got a lot of people who need to get better. I hate to hear that. I do. I hate to hear that kind of stuff, man. I just, especially as a Black American, Black person, I mean, I know what it is to be discriminated against. And, I hate it for my Jewish brothers and sisters and every other ethnic group who goes through this foolishness.
Okay. Final topic of the night. And that is this. According to Cole Cuba led the Seahawks trail for a minute 35 seconds in the postseason. This is the fewest amount of time trailing as Super Bowl champions since the Redskins in 1991. Marvin, some thoughts.
I heard somebody was trailing. You sound like you're underwater.
He was saying, Marvin, that
I feel like
Seahawks only trailed by a minute and 35 seconds during the playoff. And that was the first time since the Redskins back in what year, Scott?
Okay.
1991.
Yeah, listen, it just speaks to the dominance of the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, this was their year. They showed up when they needed to. They played the game old school, which was just defense, run the ball, don't turn it over. And yeah, I mean that defense. When you got a defense like that and a run game like that, you just control the game. You do. You control the clock. You put so much pressure on the quarterback. I mean, it just changes. I mean, forget this Sean McVay fancy quarterback guru, new NFL replay. It still comes down to the same football they were playing with Vince Lombardi: run the ball, play defense, quarterback, don't turn the ball over. And that's what they did, man. And they were consistent with it. They were aggressive with it. And obviously, it just allowed them to lead in the majority of these games at all points throughout the game. Their Super Bowl winners know that this is no, this isn't some fluke. They earned it the old school way, playing consistently a certain way. So, yeah, I'm not shocked at that stat at all.
Tony.
I joked before the Super Bowl and said Seattle's going to be that team holding up the trophy, and I still can't believe how they got here, even though they dominated all season. And we're like a week away, and I'm still like, how did they do it? But you zoom out, you might have to start comparing this to some of the all-time teams, especially when you put out a stat like that, the only trail for a minute in the playoffs. You're not playing no bad teams in the playoffs, right? Like you're playing other good teams. That's why you made it this far. So for them to dominate like that, I'm gonna spend some time this offseason comparing them to other teams. Yeah, they match up to what we consider an all-time. I think Seattle's probably fits up there with almost all of them.
All right, Candy, you have the last word on this.
We've said for years and years that defense wins championship. Obviously, that holds true, especially in the playoffs. The Seattle Seahawks played tough defense against all these offenses that were thrown at them. And part of it is when the coin toss, and did you take the ball in the beginning, or did your defense set the tone right from the start? And then field position. So as Earl said, Seahawks won this game in all three phases, and it took all three phases. But it took a dominant defense to get there too.
Yeah, the bottom line is the New England Patriots ran into a buzzsaw. I mean, as a result of the Seattle Seahawks are the Super Bowl champs. Give them their due. Now they're losing coaches. Then again, when you win the Super Bowl, you lose coaches. Like those circle of life, at least in the NFL, anyhow.
Absolutely.
All right, so Marvin, do you have any parting shots at all?
Do I have any parting shots? You know something? Candy said it. It's time. Yeah. Super Bowl's over. We just got past All-Star Weekend. So it really is time for me to dive into the NBA, get ready for a little March Madness, which is great because March Madness is next month, and I love that. So yeah, it's basketball season. It's here, and I want to see what my Lakers do second half of the season. Tony said we can make it to the playoffs without being a play-in team, so I'm banking on that. And I need people to leave LeBron James alone. Stop hating on him. Stop coming up with super stuff. Like, you are watching greatness for the last time. This dude, everybody ain't like LeBron. You don't get LeBron all the time. We got, we saw Kobe, we saw Jordan, LeBron. Them the only three dudes really, in Steph, in the last 40 years that are really different people. And we're watching LeBron right now at the end of the road. So be grateful, man. Praise this dude, man. Give him his props. Stop hating on that man. That's it.
What about you, Tony?
Non-sports related. We got 10 days left of Black History Month. I encourage everybody who's watching, listening, learn something about Black history. Small fact daily. Black history is America.
Facts.
And Tony will be kind enough to join us on talking baseball on Saturday, right, Tony? We're going to have you with us. We have a good show, lots of baseball talk.
Yep.
Candy and I figured to hit the road next weekend, so Tony's going to get as much airtime as he can and help us out. He's really appreciated. This guy knows his baseball, his one-liners are better, and his baseball, especially since I was on the wrong end of them a couple of days ago. Oh my God! Seriously. Hey, Earl, go to Candy, get that hat. Yeah, don't worry, she'll find a way to get it for you. She's a mastermind behind the hat. I wish it was on Amazon. I wish she'd make a few more, but that's maybe one of 3 times to get sales. The stuff she comes up with. All right, Katie, some parting shots.
Well, first, thank you, Earl. Thanks for the love. As far as parting shot, now that football season is done, at least NFL football season is done, as God has told me how many times. The Olympics are going on. Enjoy the Winter Olympics. And then, believe it or not, starting Saturday, the boys of summer start playing spring training games. Believe it or not, they're playing baseball.
When does that start?
So enjoy that. If you haven't been training, go enjoy it. Whether it be in Phoenix in the Cactus League or the Grapefruit League down here in Florida. And then basketball, of course. But I like college basketball. Bring on March Madness.
Hey, Mark.
Huh?
Marvin, you can follow in Tony's footsteps. This guy knows a lot about baseball, and he's a hit.
Listen, Scott, I like
baseball. And I mean really a hit.
Scott, I like baseball. Growing up in New York, I was a big Yankee fan. Being in LA, I became a Dodger fan. I like baseball. I just don't love it. I'm happy they have a pitch clock now. That makes a difference for people like me. It really does. And I'm gonna get into it. I mean, I get into playoff baseball when it's Yankees Dodgers. And I'll watch regular season big matchups. I don't know a lot of the current players and all that stuff, and but I know, but I respect the sport.
Well, nobody does. Nobody knows a lot. He knows a lot of the current players the way they move around in free agency.
Tony does.
Just following this. Well, that's different. He's a different bird. He's talking game, baby. And baseball is his game, baby.
Yeah. Just keep following on Twitter. Throughout March, you're going to be a lot of guests on Talking Baseball, Marvin. So just keep paying attention to the Twitter feed. I got you.
All right, no doubt.
All right, so everybody get their information out. Have you gotten yours out, Marvin? Go ahead.
Marvin Powell III. Social media is Marvin on the mic. I'm fortunate enough to be a part of South Florida Tribune for 5 shows a week. You can catch me on Locked On USC twice a week, and just various other places. I'm doing shows all the time. Check me out.
All right, Tony, go ahead. Get it out there, partner.
All right, YouTube, Tony Talking Game.
Where can they find?
YouTube, Tony Talking Game. All social media, Talking Game 1. We go live 3:30 every Wednesday with a fresh episode. Catch me here, South Florida Tribune. Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturday afternoon. We do 2 hours of SmackDown with my guy Rainy from the podcast. Talk wrestling. WWE.
So aware. That's okay. All right, Candy, take us home.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. Written by Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morgan talks about his 40-plus years in the media. Get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. Audiobook is available as well, so go get your copy today. We have a link on our website, www.selfportertribune.com, where there's a plethora of great content, so go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. If you want to be a guest or have topic ideas, email us at selfportertribune@gmail.com. Last but not least, if you see that red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, that means you haven't subscribed to us. Why not? What are you waiting for? Click us, like it, share it with all your friends and family, and then turn on your notifications so you're notified every time we go live. Monday nights is baseball night. Tuesday nights is football. Wednesday nights, you never know what you're going to be getting. Thursday nights on sports rep, hockey, soccer, whatever Scott wants to throw in there. And then come on over to Fire Up Thursday night. Country Club, as Scott calls it. It's a show that I lead. So, and then I know you're all missing college game day on Saturday morning. I got something much better. Come over to the South Florida Tribune and watch our show Inside the Pigskin Saturday morning, and then talking baseball as well. Scott, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Well done by Tom Shanahan. Marvin Paul III, as always, does a great job.
Thank you.
Earl Kinsey's a star in the chat room. What can I say?
What's up, cousin?
He's a star in the chat room. And good night. Good Saturday. We appreciate your support. Earl. Big time. We'll work on the half break. Candy's got it definitely in her head to do that, so we'll figure it out. Glad we have something that's in demand that people want. Good stuff. So good stuff, Tony, Candy. Well, that does it. We'll be back and hopefully better than ever tomorrow night. Sports Wrap and Firearm. So good evening, everybody, and we will catch you on the network. And hello, Dave Flowers. Glad to have you on Facebook. Have a great night, everybody. See you tomorrow.